Resume. Right. Welcome everyone. So your normal lead host, Shariah Khan, is going off to a wedding tonight. So you have the substitutes in here tonight, myself, Michael Bailey, and we'll be having a few more of us talking. Jasmine's going to be joining us in this, and Trevor Thompson will be joining in our discussions tonight. Tonight, we're going to go in and talk a little bit about the investors and kind of some common mistakes that might be made early on by investors, and we're going to talk a little bit about GP investors as well as LP investors, and just give a little mix of that, and then we'll do a little bit of roundtable and actually let everyone have a chance to kind of chime in that wants to and share about any what maybe they have happened with them or things they've learned along the way in the process as well. So let me share my screen. I think I forgot to update one thing, but I'll figure that out. Okay, we still called it case study, so I'm okay. So I still am going to cover a little bit about who Massive Capital is, and then we'll talk about some partnering opportunities in general. And then we'll go on to investors, mistakes, GP and LP. Then we got Q&A, which Q&A really is the whole discussion period and topic opportunity. And I've still got some people in the waiting room. Way things around. So just quickly, a little bit about the Massive Capital team. Many of you probably know. We actually have four partners, principal partner owners in the team, and one of them, Ajit Karani, is taking a bit of sabbatical, so he's so we're not pushing him just right now. So he's going to be taking care of some things on his own, and so the key ones pushing, participating right now with Massive Capital is Sanjay. Sanjay's got comes from a period of about 8 years now, I believe, of time in multifamily. Besides coming from a corporate background, Sanjay has gone full cycle, and he brings full cycle on 6+ deals, 800 units, full cycle, and as a key partner into those deals, key sponsor. So Sanjay brings us the hardcore operations piece to Massive Capital, and I always give him kudos and a hard time at the same time sometimes, because it's just amazing the things like he'll pick up on that I would never have. It'd take me 2 weeks to figure out sometimes about what's going on with a property or what's happening with property management and stuff like that. So it's just amazing having him to keep us lined and grounded in that way. Many of you know Shariah as well. Shariah has done a number of deals, just in general. He's gone full cycle on like 400 of commercial land, resi, and now is to the multifamily business with us. Comes from a heavy financial background, so you guys all meet see Shariah. I mean, it's everything is fast and furious, and it's like straight into the how are we underwriting this? How are we underwriting this team? How are we underwriting the location? How are we, looking at everything, and then just how can we structure a deal that's going to make sense? I mean, it's almost like in some ways every deal, and this is one of the things I also learned a while ago, was almost every deal has an opportunity if you can figure out the right structure, whether that's, today it could be owner financing, or it could be assuming a debt, which makes sense. Or, how do I bring in pref equity to balance this out? So there's a lot of different ways that we can structure a deal to actually, make it profitable for everyone in the process. As long as we have a good business plan and we stick to the business plan. And then my last but not least, I hope, but myself, Micah Bailey, and I come from the corporate background as well, and actually have probably the least time in this team, about a little over 16 months now in the multifamily space. I was in oil and gas for 30 years, 20 of that was international. So I really learned how to adjust, adapt, be a bit creative in what we would do, in the legal ways, but still creative to get things done. So I continue to be able to, find ways to partner with people and work with people that bring the most value for us and for our partners and teams that participate. So I'm going to take a pause there, and I'm going to let Jasmine, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Can you hear me? Sorry, my computer, I think, is shut down. So, hello, everybody. My name is Jasmine. I've been in business for probably over a decade now, but 3 years ago, I found my passion on real estate. I started doing land, just buying, reselling land, and I was introduced to the multifamily concept last December. Fast forward, I connected with Mike, and here we are with Massive Capital. You probably hear about the deals that we been taking down, and just I do investor relations for Massive Capital and digital marketing. So here I am. If you guys need anything, I'll be more than happy to help you. I'm always open to the one-on-one, and hopefully I can help you and add value to you. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Jasmine. And I don't know, I was trying to see if Ramiz, are you on the call tonight? Ramiz was in here. I don't see. No, I don't think so. I have a few other partners. Ramiz is working right now on acquisitions, and works with another group we have, which is basically calling not only brokers, but actually calling sellers and looking at off-market deals. We have a system called the Deal Doer Machine Commercial, and basically it is a system where we use Reonomy and CoStar to go and find the potential deals and that we're looking for, and then we get them into our system and database. We skip trace the owners, try to dig in. It's tough sometimes on multifamily because of the LLCs. So there's a lot of process into digging into the owner a lot of times and figuring that out. So Ramiz and the Deal Doer Machine does a lot of that, and calling and finding deals for us, as well as what we get, deals coming to us. And then we have Bhaskar, who is our junior finance manager based overseas, that works on everything from underwriting. He does all of the underwriting up front, and then he also does a lot of managing the deals that we currently have from a finance side with our other partners. Candace Stearns, I didn't see Candace come in yet either. Candace does investor relations with us and is, responsible for connecting with new investors, getting them on board, bringing them into the process. And then Maria Marks is joining us as our director of podcasts, and she's been working as well on our, onboarding people into our investor portal. And Maria comes, she's part of a few programs. Everybody in here is part of some programs. So Maria is part of the Stumrock and the community that a lot of you know, and she will be, continuing, helping, supporting. So you guys may be crossing her and working with her as we move forward. On the back of Massive Capital, we have a couple partners. I believe neither, Ash is traveling, and I think Paul is possibly traveling as well right now. So, but basically, we come in with a couple partners with, total that brings Massive Capital with partners, to a little over 2 billion of assets under management as a full team, and a number of deals that are, have been completed in a number of different regions and states. So we also, this helps us come in with a larger balance sheet, basically with a family office backing that is partnering with us as well. So I'm going to go on quickly onto some partner opportunities, and then after that, I'll pause for a minute and see if there were any questions related to kind of who the team is and how we can work with and partner with others as well. The areas we work in are currently we have closed a number of deals this year. We closed 8 deals this year across a few different states and cities, from Dallas and Houston, so basically Texas, to Georgia, North Carolina. We have a number of partners on the call tonight as well, I've seen, that have come in, and while we're in the discussion tonight, I think a lot of them will get a chance to chime in and talk about what they're doing and what they've learned about, mistakes and opportunities to be a partner with us as well. The areas we've highlighted a few areas we're looking, but those are not like our limitations. Like Phoenix and Tampa are not the only places we're looking. It's just those are opportunities that we like, those locations. We also are, looking in Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, additional stuff in Georgia, Kansas City, and and so forth. So, if you have something that comes along that you really think makes sense, and you've underwritten and you want to talk about it, then those are things that we're open to and talk to. We currently have under contract a deal in San Antonio, 88 units. It's a value add, and a couple new developments, one in Austin and one in Houston. So this is a little bit of a framework, and this is kind of a high level framework, how we partner and work with others and what we can bring to the table. And where we like to do is when we meet up with people and they say, yeah, I've got, I want to be a partner. And it's like, let's work through this and talk about how you fit into that and how we fit into that. So this is also how we structure our GP table as to how our GP contribution compensatory piece goes, and how everybody gets paid, and how we work together, that everyone's going to be honored in the process of that payment process. So we started into deal sourcing, and deal sourcing to PSA, it doesn't mean you bring a deal and you get that, you get 100% of that piece. It's there's a lot of pieces that go into deal sourcing. So we tend to sit in it almost all the time we're in a deal, meaning at least we've either done some final underwriting, we've done some vetting, we've provided the resume for the LOI, we help, finalizing the PSA or contract negotiations. In the process, we, look at the location, underwrite the location, do initial due diligence, vetting, and so forth. So there's a lot of pieces that go into the deal sourcing, the PSA process to be considered. And then we come into the next part, which is the at-risk capital, due diligence, and the contract to close process. So this is really a piece of where people come in, they've been in the deal early, or they've coming in the, still fairly early in the, not maybe at the LOI stage, but coming in during, they're under contract and they want to participate with us. We look at, how do we do that? So they put in some risk capital that pays for, not only the EMD, the earnest money down, but it also pays for maybe some lending fees that are needed up front, or for making the legal fees that you need for the PPMs and all the docs, doing inspections that are needed ahead of time. So there's a lot of money that goes into that. And then there's a process of really everything you do in contract to close, which is, finalizing items with the lender, negotiating with the lender, all the legal docs we have to put together, going through the due diligence process, vetting the unit, the property itself into more detail, going as well through like all of the docs from the seller, as far as looking at all the leases, making sure the leases make sense, what they said they were going to be, and then walking every unit, not just going in and walking, one unit, but walking every unit on that property. So that's that part of the stack. And then when we do the loan guarantor debt, which is actually the piece where somebody comes in and signs on that debt. They come in, with the balance sheet, and we're aligned now that we can do deals up to $120 million deals, balance sheet that we have of the backing of our partners. They then are loan guarantors. They've done agency debt, so it brings a level of experience that is, it's some of those things are really hard, barriers to entry sometimes. So those make a difference in the whole process, and that gets paid as well. Investor relations, and equity contribution piece, and what people help them bring in of the equity stack is a big part of how we partner with people as well on our deals or on their deals. So we don't necessarily do this 100% ourselves, but we partner with others that either have a fund, we're helping, we're looking to create funds with others, so to have more fund of funds opportunities, and working in that direction as well. And then the last piece that always gets overlooked is the asset management. That asset management really is the most critical. Like 20% of the deal is done in those first 4 columns. 80% of the deal, probably really think about it, is in the asset management piece, because that's what lasts for the duration of the project. So that's something that goes for 3 to 5 years. And if you don't manage to do the asset management right, get the value, follow the business plan, then you're not in a position to increase the valuation of the property, and to either refinance depending on how the market is working, or to exit at a proper time that makes sense based on the market and where you are with your deal. So we honor that. We put a lot of positions. We put about 30% of the GP part goes into asset management usually. So and at the bottom you see kind of how we look to enable and create wealth, but we want to partner with and have the opportunity to create 10 to 20 general partners per year through the operated by others plan, as well as having people join us as equity. So again, the thing we look, massive capital, we're not looking for anybody's help, we're looking for their commitment. So I'm gonna take I think that was, yeah, I'm gonna take a pause there, but this just gives you an idea of what we do on a regular basis. This is our deal sheets that we run through. You usually have 4 or 5 deals that we may have an LOI out at a given time, 10 to 15 deals that are in process of underwriting, and then the rest are come into archive. So I'm going to pause here and just see if there's any questions and a little bit of discussion at this point. Anybody wants to raise their hand? or has put a question in the chat, or we'll just jump on to the next part. In the next part, I'm going to go live to the community, basically. So right now per day, we probably underwrite 2 or 3 deals a day into the details. And we've currently, so I'll just share a little bit. We've currently signed up with a company called Red IQ, which is so basically it's an online system for underwriting, and our goal is we will be doing 5 to 10 underwriting deals a day with this new system, and we'll also be looking to partner with people that want to, have an opportunity. As I mentioned, there's we have a partnership with Michael Menudo, the Deal Doer Machine, and with that we will let people, join onto that team, do underwriting, alongside with us, and we can get you more information on that program and how that works as well. But this Red IQ is something we learned about from a few bigger guys. It's like a $25,000 a year investment into a underwriting package online that you basically upload and store all the data, and then it builds you a database of underwriting in a given area over time. Let me share again. And this is now, we're going to open up people like Trevor and others. Sure. Okay. So investors' mistakes. I have a couple slides, and what I'll do is we'll add to this slide as we go. And I just threw out some things to start with, and things that I've learned along the way. I just really like to get some other feedback from others about this. So, one of the things was early on, like not vetting your team, not agreeing on how the partnership works. So, and not setting expectations. Those are like all team related things that, if you miss out on that team piece, which is really critical. So you need a team to do multifamily, right? But you can't, but you also need to kind of vet out who your team is and what their expectations is and how they'll work together, how you'll work together, so that you don't end up with being disgruntled or, being resentful and have, fighting and things. And I've heard, stories. We'll talk about stories without talking about names a bit tonight. So the other is just as, general partners, sometimes maybe they didn't fund enough, for some uncertainties, or they've not maintained a reserve for occurrence. Maybe they didn't have enough reserve to cover their current interest rates right now. And there's also been a lot of people I've seen come in. I was probably one of these that thinks like, this is super, super easy. This is going to be easy. I can do this. And there's a lot more work to the multifamily than we think. So, or than, peers. So Trevor, you want to share some things on your side on what you've learned as a GP, and we can do them together, because I had also the LP common mistakes, which was not vetting a team, counting on the cash flow, which doesn't, maybe come in as fast as they expected, versus wait, knowing that's going to come in 3 to 5 years. One of the things for me as an LP was not investing early enough. I should have started this earlier in my life and career. So, and then I was editing this and I didn't add the others. So Trevor, you got some things you want to add?
Yeah, so definitely on the passive investor side, you really need to figure out who you're going to give your money to first. For me, that's critical, right? Vetting the sponsor, but we all say, oh, know, like, and trust, but I really say dig deep into them. Like, everybody looks great on the internet. Nobody ever calls you up and says, man, it's a tough deal, but we think we can make it, everything's a good deal. And so what I did was I found people that I wanted to invest. I started watching them for a while, skipped out on a couple of deals, and then I call it when the stars align. So I identified somebody that I wanted to invest with. I also identified I wanted to get something in storage, and I also wanted to get something in the Carolinas. And boom, the third deal that came across from her in the year I knew her was all three of those things, right? And then, I looked at the other sponsors and then made an investment. So that one is critical. Making sure that you really do get to know them. It's amazing how many people will give their money to people they don't really know. I find it kind of shocking almost that they won't do that. And I mean, again, we do that a lot in the stock market or other places. And and then on the GP side, it's so much about doing the team. But like my first GP deal, I didn't quite understand all of the risks. Even though I'm a super educated guy, like in the space and all of the things, I didn't quite wrap my head around all the risks. And, my first GP deal, we could not get a loan assumption done with a pref equity stuck in the middle. And, I went from going to get a $75,000 acquisition fee to losing $75,000 on my first deal of hard money. And so just really understanding the complexities of the deal. So the partners were all fine, other than at the end when we all lost money, a couple didn't pony up with their money. And we didn't learn that until that critical crisis came. But making sure you understand the risks of a deal if you're going to, lock yourself into it.
Thank you. Thanks, Trevor. I'm going to call on another one of my partners, Alex Lovely. Alex, are you there?
He chatted earlier. He was getting on a plane. Oh, there he is.
Oh, you got a minute to jump in, Alex? I see you're in the airport.
Yeah. I'm here. Yeah. So I think on the LP side, the biggest mistake is thinking that if I invested with a team that I would automatically get into the room with them and that I would automatically become, have their resources and they would bring me in on deals, things like that. So in the beginning, when I invested as an LP, that's kind of what happened. I just, people are like, hey, we're going to bring you in on the deals. So I would say if you're going as an LP first, like if I was to be an LP right now and invest in a deal, I would invest a large enough money to actually be able to sit in those rooms. That's what I would do. And if not, then you may want to really just check out a team, see their track record, and do they have time for you? So that's what I would say for the LP side. On the GP side, I think vetting a team is definitely huge because you're going to be married to a team for 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And, I think aligning your core values, like Mike, you and I, we have this gratitude, this thinking of always supporting, being in service to people and helping others like that. No matter what happens, I think in our deals, no matter what arguments or debates we may get into, like that's going to hold us together. I think that's so important that your values and those are in alignment. The other thing about GP is, I think you did mention it.
Yeah, Alex.
Can you hear me?
So yeah, I can hear you great. And once somebody asked a question of when you're vetting a team, as you're on that, what are some questions you tend to think about or ask at this point now that you've done this a few times?
Yeah, I want to see that they're invested in another deal. That would be something that I would want to be on a GP, is that somebody has invested as an investor. Because if you're going to be raising capital, which every GP should raise capital, you need to know that LP is the best position to really be in, right? So that's number one. Number two, are they someone that, I would ask other people, about this GP team, especially if I've seen them in deals with somebody else and all of a sudden they're not in deals, like why is that? Right. So that's something else I would do to vet the team. And of course, when you first start and if you're new in this business, everybody can say anything to you and you get real excited. Yeah, I'm definitely like that too. In the beginning, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna invest everywhere. And then it wasn't until you gave me my shot and we really got to know each other and our team got to know each other that I was like, yeah, this is it. So I'm really blessed that like early on when I jumped into a team, I jumped onto a team that's really cool, that I really jive with. So not everybody's that lucky. I believe that's the case for me. So that's my 2 cents on this. Thanks for the opportunity to share that, Mike.
Thank you, Alex.
And somebody asked a great question about peeling back the onion. You know, ask sponsors of things that went wrong and how they fixed it. And if you have a sponsor that's not willing to share their challenges, turn and run. Business is tough. Business, nothing ever goes perfect. And everybody has to apply themselves to get out of a tough situation. So start asking those clarifying questions. And a sponsor who has always just done perfect stuff and great returns, it's going to happen sooner or later. Something goes wrong, right? We're investing in businesses, taking chances, doing things. So make sure you ask those kind of clarifying questions and then find out who they would recommend you talk to. But remember, they'll only tell you people that like them. And then when you get to those people, ask, hey, within the group, is there somebody unhappy? And try to dig down deeper.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Alfredo,
definitely think
go ahead, Alex.
transparency. Well, I think transparency from a team is definitely, it's very easy to tell when you start asking a couple of questions and they're dodging questions. Like that's just not a good feeling for me. You know, when I'm asking like the specifics of stuff and I'm not getting it, it's like what's there to hide, right? So transparency is definitely huge.
And previous reporting, ask them to send what they sent their investors and look at, is there good detail in it? You know, do they admit they're behind on the CapEx and what they're doing to catch up? How are they going after their delinquencies? All those things are super important. And you want to make sure they're reporting that to their investors, because then you know that they're very transparent.
Excellent. I saw Alfredo. Do you have? Are you around? Did you want to jump in? Coretta, see. I see a few Alfredos actually.
I can, while we wait for Alfredo, I don't know if he's.
Oh yeah, Jasmine, please go ahead, please.
Yeah, no, just to piggyback on what Trevor and Alex said, like we as Massive Capital, we always underwrite the team first. It is very important just to understand that we are in a relationship for 5 years. You know what? Even if you can have the best property, you know, you can have the best deal, but you're gonna face a lot of up and downs and so much stress at some point. So you need to really understand the people that you're gonna be stuck with for 5 years. And before getting into a partnership, you need to treat, just to get to know them, underwrite the team first before the property. You know, just like they say, date before you get married, because it's gonna be a lot of up and downs all the time, and you just need to be with people who aligns to your values, to your goals, somebody who is in the same mindset. Otherwise, it will be very difficult, and it just takes like one person to make your life very difficult. So definitely that's something to think before getting into numbers and the property itself. Go back to you, Mike.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. And then thanks, Jasmine. Yeah, 100%. And then we'll try Alfredo again. You wanted to. Hey.
There he is.
Hey, there it is. Let's see. You know, some of the can you
You've
see me?
partnered on a few deals, haven't you?
Yes, I have been in the LP and GP side, and definitely everything that everyone is sharing is definitely a very, very great advice for those that are starting in this business. The biggest thing for for me personally, is to find someone that is got the same values, that your value system is one that you will always obey the law. And ask them, has there ever been a situation where things went south and how they fixed it from the ground up? How are they, what are they doing to prevent that from happening again? Ask them about their track record. It's sort of like an interview, but at the same time, you're having a conversation with someone that you could potentially put in $100,000, $200,000, and you're going to be giving them, whether you're a GP or LP, we have that responsibility to work with those people. So yes, I've been on both ends of the, and matter of fact, I went as an LP with Massive Capital. Awesome people, really good people. And, but yeah, I'm also a builder. So I'm also asking questions. When was the building built? What are you planning to do? Where did you get those? How did you come up with those numbers? So that's very important for me as an investor and as a builder as well. Just something I wanted to share out there.
Thank you. Thanks, Alfredo. That's awesome. Yeah, it's great. And I learned a lot from you as well. So, you know, and how to look at properties and how to look at new opportunities, and, you know, just, and it, you know, so it was like, as well, I think that whole, you targeted the same values, and Alex talked on that. And I saw that, like, when we came together, you know, it was like family, right? It's about like family, it's about family and how you show up and how you are with people and how you treat people is a lot to do with the whole process to me.
Yes, sir. That's it.
I don't see the chat right now. Is there any other questions in the chat, or has anybody just got some questions they want to ask or throw out there?
I got one more thing for looking for a good sponsor while we're doing it. Someone who is willing to educate people. So clearly, like Massive, you've been doing these things to educate people. My best investment to date was somebody who trained people about asset management and do things. And it was, and they provided so much education. And so you want to invest with people that are doing that, willing to help you grow and learn.
Yeah. All right, good. We got W. W's with his end up. Let's go, W.
Hey, what's going on, Mike? Good to meet everybody else. Alex, great to see you. I hope you have a safe travel back to Vegas. I have just a question, Mike. As you know, I'm looking at a somewhat of a smaller deal that a lot of you guys are probably doing. It's only 50 some odd units here in Florida, in Broward. And so as a new investor looking to do my first deal, I mean, what are some of the things that someone that is new getting in, bringing a deal, maybe hopefully something that everybody agrees that, okay, yeah, we got something here and let's do something together. How would that look like? What are the steps that a new investor could expect in maybe joining forces with someone like Massive, should something like that come up, whether it's this deal or some other deal? What were some of the things that would look like? Did I get caught up? Oh.
Yeah, no, it's good. I was thinking through that. So I was going back a little bit to.
No, it's fine. I thought maybe I lost my signal or something.
No, you're great. Sorry. I came back a little bit to kind of the partnering opportunities and value to partners. We've partnered with, you know, a lot of people. So if I go to, you know, some deals that we've done, and, you know, as Alex mentioned, we did, you know, I think one of the first deals Alex did with us, and has continued to partner with us. And a lot of times we actually prefer to two ways we prefer to partner is with maybe three, but one is we call this operated by others, where we look for people that, you know, are full-time coming full-time, or they have somebody with them that's full-time committed into this to do a deal. And also to start with actually a smaller deal makes sense to us sometimes, because we want to see them be successful and get started into the process. So the first deal, or a couple deals we did this year with Normal is on here. Normal share about that one that we did in Colorado here in a second, but we did a deal with Normal. We did a deal with Bobby and John in North Carolina, and also Maria Marks joined us on that. So those are smaller. Those are like $2.5 to $3.5 million deals that give the opportunity for somebody to kind of move up from where they were. They may not have the comfort, the confidence, the balance sheet initially to do that. They may not be ready to do the lending. So we can help basically in all those buckets to support whatever they need. And the key is we don't just like, hey, somebody brings us a deal and we're going to partner with you. We spend time, like we've been spending time getting to know you getting to know us. And we're trying to take a look at a deal you brought forward. When we go into that, we then look at, okay, do we have the alignment? Are we all in the same, leaning the same direction, wanting the same things? And we don't want to do one deal. We want to do 2, 3, 4, and 5 with these partners. And we want that to grow. We don't want to keep doing small deals. We want to do bigger deals as we do them. And so that is part of what way we like to look and work on that. And then when we come into the GP sheet, that basically we sit down and we go from, basically from when we start underwriting or before an LOI, and we talk about how everybody's going to play, what all the accountabilities, responsibilities that everyone will have, and how do they get compensated for that. So did that help?
Yes, absolutely.
Normal, do you want to share a little bit about the partnership and how that worked for you guys?
And Rochelle has her hand up too. I know it's hard for you to watch everybody.
Oh, okay. I'll come back to Rochelle in a second. If I was going to say if Normal was here, he was here earlier. He may just be listening now. We'll come back to Normal. So Rochelle, thanks, W. Is that?
No, that was perfect, Mike. That really, it's just the same thought process of what I expected to hear, and so I'm glad to hear that. And let's see how it goes. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, my favorite person.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Rochelle. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. So happy to see everybody in here.
Actually, I think a new potential partner right now, so we're excited.
Oh, thank you. We are too. So, Tarek just walked your property in San Antonio, so we have that on Zoom. It's recorded on Zoom. Yeah, so Massive Capital's goal is to create 10 to 20 general partners per year, which is, I think, very commendable. I think you touched on some of this. My question is, what skills, qualifications, or experiences do you guys look for on somebody that you think could make a potential partner? And then my second question is, how many GPs do you normally have on a deal, and how many is too many?
Good question. So let's start on the beginning. So I think it actually comes back to the key pieces for us is not necessarily the skills that we're looking for right now. I don't have here, but we actually are building out more of what Massive Capital organization looks like going forward. But what we currently look for really is that somebody has that commitment that they're going to do this and want to do it. And then we spend time, from that point. I'll look and see if somebody else I'd like to bring up and talk a little bit about that, Angela, maybe. So we spend time getting to know everyone, as I mentioned, and we do some things together, and we find out they find out and we find out what skills they have that best fit. And as we work through getting to know each other, we figure out where does that make sense that they fit in on a deal by deal basis, or even longer term, where they may fit in with massive capital as a whole. So there's not a necessary initial skill set that we're targeting or looking for. You're looking for people that will be able to fit into some of these buckets eventually. Asset management, deal sourcing, and contract to close are some key sweat equity areas that make a lot of sense for people, and then raising capital. So it's more, those are the types of areas we're looking for people to be able to excel in, and if there's additional balance sheets, we have some people on here that come in that could eventually be balance sheet or liquidity support. We're in a deal currently with Ethan that's in a deal with us that has helped on some of that. So there's different ways that we partner with different people based on what they have available and the skill set eventually, right? So it's not usually on that first time we may know that answer. And your other part you were asking was, come back to me. Help me on the other part again.
The second part was, how many GPs do you normally have on a deal? Yeah, how many is too many?
Yeah, I don't know. We tend to try to keep probably between, I would say 4 to 7 is not uncommon. And the reason we do that, a lot of people will complain, hey, that's too many people. It seems like you're doing this or that. 4 to 7, 3 to 7, somewhere in there, 3 to 6, whatever. It lets you have the opportunity to do a few things, let people participate in different areas. It lets you be sure that everybody gets paid fairly, because you just have so much you can spread out to too many people. So that's really where too many just becomes where you don't have enough value to the GP value to spread out to help others in the process. And then if we're on a smaller deal, it'll be maybe, 3 or 4 on a smaller deal to get started. But we also then look for people, they'll come in and they'll be a team. They'll come in as a team rather than as like 5 individuals, and they'll do with us as one team is the other key way we do that.
Gotcha. Thank you, Mike. So basically what you're looking for mostly is, in terms of the GP that you're going to bring on, is personality and whether this person is easy to work with rather than specific skills.
Personality and commitment. Yes, those would be the key things, right? I'd say personality just meaning that, we don't see any red flags that we don't want to, work with those people.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Cool. All right. Any other thoughts, questions, others? Seen the chat, anything new in the chat? I don't know. Angela, are you on? Angela Gonzalez or Angela Sport? Or
one thing, just to make a point on the team, if you want to get on a team, always give more than you want to get. And that's what makes somebody, you're going to give more than you want to get. And that's the kind of teammates that you should be looking for. And when you're trying to get on, you should do that as well. I have a friend who tells stories. First deal, he owned 3% of the GP stack, did all the work, did everything, but now he owns close to, $500 million in real estate. That's how he started.
I know somebody that'll share that. I don't have to ask her twice. Is Brooke.
What do you want me to share, Mike?
Whatever you feel like sharing about anything you've learned as being an LP or a GP as you get along your journey, or mistakes or things to look for, recommend.
Where do I start? Let's see if I can make this condensed.
So, 2 minutes.
Yeah, right. So I think in the journey of being an LP, you always should check the GP team first, and then I also always look at the debt second. But honestly, in my journey, I have known the most important thing in regards to being an LP or a GP is showing up. Because Zoom is phenomenal and all, but when you don't show up, you're not active in discussions. I'm not seeing you in person. I'm not breaking bread with you. I'm going to forget about you. Right. And that's one thing that I've noticed is for people who are struggling to grow their network or to get investors, they're not showing up or they're half-assed, right? And that's something that I have learned. That's why I'm in multiple masterminds. I attend as many events as I possibly can. And if I can't be at those events, then I'm going to provide as much value and support via the chats as I can, right? Secondly, know when to walk away. You know, this I had to learn the hard way twice. I didn't learn the first time. I had to get my ass kicked the second time, right? And lose thousands of dollars. When you're in a property or you're in a due diligence phase or you're in a negotiations, you need to learn to kind of go with your gut, right? Trust, but validate. There's been times that I thought I trusted it, you know, people that I was working with, and then I was seeing red flags. I didn't trust my gut, and I continued to progress and put money into something just to have to walk away when I lost tons of hours and tons of money. So make sure that you can trust the people you're with, but validate. Unfortunately, like so many people are trying to come up, and that's absolutely fabulous. But on the flip side, a lot of people are faking the funk, y'all. You got people, stop taking the fake it till you make it mantra. If you're going to collaborate with GPs, please, for the love of God, look at their history. Have they gone dispositions? Have they gone full cycle? Have they executed a biz plan? You know, what have they done? Because when you go with a bunch of beginners, and I've learned this twice, it's the blind leading the blind. Okay. So if you can have anything taken away from this, one, show up, be committed, have a servant mentality. When you're everywhere, people know who you are and they will think of you when opportunities come. Stop thinking about what's in it from you from a financial perspective. I'll have people, hey, Brooke, I'm willing to invest with you, but what's my cut? What's my cut? Stop thinking like that. You know, so that at a high level is probably what I can tell you guys. And learn to win fast, lose fast. It's hard to walk away from a situation that you've put your blood, sweat, and tears in, but it's also worse to stick it out because you want to feel cool and look like a superstar for 5 minutes to show you closed a deal. Well, now when this shit hits the fan, there goes your reputation. Good luck building it back up. So I'll kind of end it on that. So I was kind of ending on a negative note, but those are just some harsh lessons that I've learned. So just show up and trust people, but validate. Dig on the receipts before you collaborate with people.
100%. First, that's you hit it. That's awesome, and appreciate
Yeah.
it. So I shared the link in the chat as well. If anybody wants to, sign up, begin to get connected with us. It's our investor portal. You'll see our deals, but you'll start to hear from us. And some of you may want to, some of you may not want to, but that's the opportunity that you have there, and continue to connect and get to know us. Jasmine, you have anything to close out with?
No, I think you guys did an amazing job. No, I just want to invite everybody. I don't know if you guys heard, but I was nominated as a real estate woman 2023. We're gonna have a gala here in Houston, so I'm just asking for your vote. If you can help me, you can vote up to 10 times for me. The website is kind of funky, but I have some steps that you guys can follow. But let me drop the link here, and you can just do this from your phone. So if you're on your computer, you can do it. I'm just gonna
Congratulations as well.
Thank you. This is just because of Massive Capital, and of course Mike, who gave me my first shot in multifamily. He believed in me before, it was just like a loop of fate. He believed in me, and it's been so many years of hard work and just pushing, and finally it's paying off. So I really appreciate your help, Mike, your support, and everybody else, all the investors. Of course, without the investors it wouldn't be possible. So I really appreciate everybody's help.
I always have to tell you and remind Jasmine that nobody gives her anything. She takes everything she gets. She's earned it. And that's an awesome thing. So appreciate, I don't know if anybody's got any final questions or anything in the chat, please share. Vote for Jasmine, join Massive Capital in the portal. And, you know, this last slide I was sharing really captured a lot of the things that we talked about, you know, around being upfront, GP discussions, agreements, you know, everything, you know, is a number driven, being transparent, and then, you know, working towards social impact. There's a number of different social impacts, and one of ours is just really supporting community, helping community. And this is part of the community, you know, and how we help people get to the next step, you know, and we want to grow. And the way we grow is everybody else grows alongside us. So see if there's anything left in the chat. So thank you all for coming tonight. Really appreciate it. Was great. Yeah, we will be sending out the recordings. The recordings will begin to be as well. We'll share the link as well in the future. So we're going to be, all the recordings are going to come out from our YouTube channel in the future or now as well. So we'll have people that sign up for our YouTube channel get access to the recordings, but we'll also be sending recordings out to people that have signed up. And so we appreciate you all coming tonight. And we're just a little bit past 7, so we'll close this out, and appreciate you all again. It's been awesome. Have a great holidays. Oh, I do want to announce next week. Jasmine, do you have a speaker? Are you still working on that for next week?
Yeah, so we're still working on the co-host, but we're just gonna take a moment to set up massive goals and how we can set up ourselves for success for 2023. So it's gonna be like more a community kind of thing, everybody sharing and just learning from each other's goals, how to stay accountable, how can we help ourselves, you know, because sometimes we have all this community and all these amazing people around us that are ready to help us. Everybody here is so open. I know if you pick up the phone and call any of us, they will answer any questions, they will support. But sometimes it's just within us, like we are not ready to take the next step, or there is something holding us back. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about all that, setting goals and how can we crush 2023.
Awesome. Thank you, Jasmine. We'll see you. I know you, Maria, some others representing next week on the goals and how we do that. And we'll have, I think, potentially a guest speaker. So that'll be awesome as well.
Of course. Yeah. I look forward to seeing you all. Happy holidays. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Bye. See you. Bye-bye. See you next week.